Hey everyone, it's Brad Ringer here with a Pure for God update. Wanted to let you know what was going on with First Love. It's been released and it's doing great both in the United Kingdom and here in the United States. Dozens of groups and individuals are doing it and we're just getting tremendous feedback. And then also, I wanted to let you know that I just returned from 10 days where I wrote the sequel to it, which is called First Love Revived, which of course is a study on personal revival, and reviving Christ is the first love in our hearts. Robin's so busy with soul care. She's seeing tremendous fruit and people being helped and encouraged and delivered. And she's got 14 full-time people she's seeing and a bunch of other people she's seeing on a part-time basis. And not only that, both her and I now are working with couples. And so I have an opportunity to put into the men as she puts into the wives. And we actually even had a couple come up here and begin the process here in our own home. So that's been awesome. Got a men's retreat coming up this fall, and I just ask that you would keep that in prayer. I've been asked to speak on the topic of men being spiritual warriors. And as I work that out, I'm trying to figure out how do you correlate the difference between an earthly warrior and a godly warrior. And so pray for me as I prepare for that and the men that I'll be sharing this with. Also, we're going to be starting up here in the Thousand Islands soon, a 12-week Bible study on the Beatitudes. And of course, the Beatitudes were written by Christ to tell us how we should live our lives. So the study is coming from the perspective that we're going to search the Beatitudes to live those type of lives so we can share Christ with our community and amongst each other. We also have another bit of incredible news. A man named Dale Fillmore has come on as a part-time administrator with us, giving us hours each week. And he's been a blessing to Bonnie and Robin and I, taking on duties and tasks that free us up to do the work of the ministry. And then an incredible thing is we have Joel and Jody, a young married couple, coming in the spring to join us full-time and starting regional youth ministry up here. They are an incredible couple. They love the Lord, and they're getting ready to have their first baby. So there's a lot that has to take place between now and this spring. We got to make sure the paperwork's done. They got to have their baby. We got to make sure everything's in order. So please pray for that. But we're looking forward to seeing First Love and Pure for God and the emphasis of our ministry injected into the North Country. And then finally, I just wanted to leave you with something the Lord's been doing in my life. When I was down in Virginia, the Lord was preparing my heart. And as I was walking with him early one morning, he said, "Brad, your private worship has been dirt poor recently." And I just thought, well, what a graphic phrase, dirt poor. So I was actually walking down a dirt road, and I came around the corner, and there was this rooster on the top of his pen. As I walked around the corner, he went, "Ah, ah, ah," as loud as he could. And it almost shocked me how loud he was. And the Lord said, "Brad, that's how I want you to praise me." So at the top of my lungs, I just screamed out as loud as I could, as loud as the rooster was crowing, "Good morning, Lord. Praise you, Creator. Hallelujah." And it was funny how just in those three phrases, I felt like I was joining this rooster in a moment of worship. And I began to realize that if my private worship isn't what it should be, then my public worship isn't going to be what it should be either. So I encourage you to examine your private times with the Lord. Are you worshiping him? And then do you bring that worshiper's heart when you come to church on Sunday? I think they'll both complement each other. If you're worshiping privately, your public worship's going to grow. And if you're able to worship in public, then it's got to grow out of your private. So I'm just going to ask you, continue to pray for Pure for God. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. And I just know God's going to continue to use Pure for God to reach people for his kingdom.